Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to explore the power of the subconscious mind.
That hidden force that shapes so much of our lives.
Exactly. And to guide us, we have this fascinating book.
A book that's packed with practical advice on understanding and using that power.
So it's all about practical application.
Yeah, not just theory, but how to actually work with the subconscious.
So if it's so powerful, why are we often unaware of it?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
A lot of us go through life not realizing how much influence our subconscious has. But this book does a great job of pulling back the curtain.
And showing us how much it impacts things like our health.
Our relationships,
Well,
even our happiness.
yeah, it's connected to everything.
So where do we even start? How do we begin to understand something that feels so hidden?
Well, the book starts with a really clever analogy to help us grasp this concept.
Oh, I love a good analogy.
They compare the conscious mind to the captain of a ship.
Okay, I can see where this is going.
The captain sets the course, gives the orders, but it's the engine room crew that actually makes the ship move. And that's the subconscious.
Exactly. And this crew doesn't question the captain's decisions.
They just carry them out.
That's the key.
Okay, so how does that translate to, achieving our goals or overcoming challenges?
Well, your subconscious mind is incredibly receptive to suggestion.
Okay.
It absorbs all the beliefs and expectations your conscious mind feeds it.
And those beliefs become the driving force behind our actions.
Exactly, whether those beliefs are positive or negative.
So if I'm constantly telling myself I'm not good at something,
Like I'm terrible at math, or I'll never be able to sing.
yeah, my subconscious will actually believe in and make it harder to succeed.
Precisely, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But on the flip side,
There's a flip side.
oh yeah, the same principle applies to positive suggestions.
Right.
So when you feed your subconscious empowering beliefs like I am capable or I am worthy, it starts working to bring those beliefs to life.
Okay, so we get to choose the prophecy. That's pretty powerful.
It really is, and the book gives some great examples of this in action.
Like the story about the famous opera singer Caruso.
Yes. Caruso, even with all his talents, struggled with terrible stage fright.
I can relate to that.
To overcome it, he developed this technique where he used the concepts of little me and big me.
So little me represents.
His conscious mind filled with doubts and fears, and then big me was like the power of his subconscious, capable of incredible performance.
So he basically acknowledged those doubts, but didn't let them control him.
Exactly.
Right.
He shifted his focus to the power and confidence that was already within him.
In his subconscious.
Exactly. And by consistently affirming the power of the big me, he essentially reprogrammed his subconscious mind to overcome that fear and perform brilliantly.
Wow. I love that.
This concept of harnessing the power of suggestion.
Yeah.
It's really a major theme throughout the book.
So how does suggestion actually work? Is it really as simple as someone telling us something?
And our subconscious just accepts it.
Yeah, are we that easily influenced?
It's not quite that simple. The book emphasizes that our conscious mind acts as a filter, especially for suggestions that clash with our deeply held beliefs. It's like a gatekeeper that can accept or reject those suggestions.
So if someone tries to suggest something that I just know is false.
Your conscious mind steps in and says, nope, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, exactly. And the stronger my belief,
The less likely you are to be swayed by suggestions that contradict it.
I like that it makes sense. So our existing beliefs are kind of like the foundation,
Yeah.
and suggestions are like seeds that need the right conditions to grow.
That's a great analogy because a tiny seed can't take root on solid rock.
But on fertile ground.
That same seed can grow into a mighty tree.
I love that. And this concept is especially relevant when we consider how our subconscious impacts something pretty major: healing.
Oh, yeah.
This is where the book gets really interesting and maybe even a little controversial,
A little bit, yeah. Some of these ideas might challenge conventional view.
because it claims that all disease originates in the mind.
It does, and it's a bold statement, but the author's argument is that every physical ailment is a reflection of a corresponding mental pattern.
So our thoughts and beliefs can actually manifest as physical symptoms.
That's the idea. It's like the body is the canvas and the mind is the artist unconsciously painting the picture of health or disease.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing.
It is, and the book presents some pretty fascinating examples to support this claim, like the case of Dr. S. Dial, a surgeon in India.
Okay.
He performed successful surgeries with incredibly low infection rates long before the discovery of bacteria and all the modern sterilization techniques.
Wait, how is that even possible? I mean, without understanding germs.
Well, Dr. Esdahl attributed his success to the power of suggestion.
Suggestion.
Yes, he used hypnosis to instill in his patients this profound belief that their bodies would heal cleanly and quickly.
And it worked.
Remarkably, yes, his patients consistently experience positive outcomes.
It's incredible.
It really highlights how much we still don't understand about the connection between the mind and the body.
Right. And this principle of suggestion influencing healing, it's not just about hypnosis, right?
Right. The book also talks about miraculous healings reported at religious shrines.
Like those stories you hear about people being cured of illnesses that doctors couldn't explain.
Exactly. And the book argues that those healings might be explained by the power of faith and imagination.
Acting on the subconscious mind.
Precisely so. It's not necessarily supernatural intervention.
But the individual's belief system creating the conditions for healing.
Exactly. And when we combine a powerful belief in healing with this vivid mental image of a healthy body,
We can activate the subconscious mind's own innate healing capabilities.
that's the idea.
Okay, so we've talked about how suggestion can impact our health. But what about other areas of life?
Yeah, like our finances, our relationships.
Can we consciously use suggestion to achieve our goals in those areas too?
Absolutely. And that's where the book gets really practical.
Hmm.
It offers a range of techniques to harness this power. But it all starts with understanding the concept of a mental blueprint.
A mental blueprint? What's
What?
that?
Your mental blueprint is like the foundation of your reality. It's the collection of your beliefs, thoughts, and expectations about yourself and the world.
And this blueprint, it's kind of running in the background all the time, shaping our experiences.
Exactly. Whether you're consciously aware of it or not.
So if I believe I'm unlucky in love, that belief will actually manifest as more bad relationships.
It's possible because your subconscious mind, working from that blueprint, will tend to attract experiences that confirm your existing beliefs.
So our beliefs are like filters that color how we perceive the world and how we interact with others.
Precisely. So the question becomes, how do we change those filters
How do we rewrite our mental blueprints?
to attract more of what we want?
That's a great question, and that's what we're going to delve into in the next part of our deep dive, so stay tuned.
Welcome back.
Okay, so we left off talking about mental blueprints.
Right, and how they shape our reality.
So how do we actually rewrite them to attract more of what we want?
Well, one area the book really dives into is achieving financial abundance.
Money, yeah. That's something a lot of people are interested in.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond simply wishing for wealth. It challenges some common misconceptions about money and success.
Like what?
Well, a lot of people unknowingly hold subconscious beliefs.
About money.
Yeah, things like scarcity or limitations.
Or even a sense of unworthiness when it comes to money.
Exactly. And those beliefs can manifest as financial struggles.
Even if someone's working really hard.
Yeah, it's like their subconscious is sabotaging their efforts,
So they could be consciously trying to make more money, get ahead.
but their subconscious is holding them back.
Wow, that's tricky.
It is, and the book really gets into how our upbringing, past experiences, societal conditioning all contribute to these hidden beliefs.
That makes sense. I mean, we're all products of our environment in a way.
Right, so the key is to become aware of those beliefs and then start to shift them.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we break free from those limitations and start attracting more abundance?
The book offers a powerful tool, gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay, I've heard about the power of gratitude before, but how does that actually work in relation to our subconscious?
When you genuinely feel grateful for what you already have, your subconscious mind interprets that as a signal.
A signal of.
Abundance, it's like you're telling your subconscious, hey, I'm already in a state of abundance.
And it responds by attracting even more of it.
Exactly. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So by feeling grateful for having a roof over my head, I'm essentially telling my subconscious that I already have abundance in my life.
Precisely. And that opens the door for more to flow in.
Interesting.
And this is where techniques like the thank you, Father method come in.
Thank you, Father.
Yeah, it's about not just saying the words, but really feeling the gratitude for the wealth you desire as if you already possess it.
So even though I don't have it yet.
You feel the gratitude as if you do.
Okay, that might sound a little strange at first, but I guess the idea is to trick your subconscious into believing that abundance is your natural state.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about shifting your internal state.
From one of lack to one abundance.
You got it? And while the book really gets into these techniques for attracting wealth,
Yeah.
it also stresses that money shouldn't be the sole focus. True fulfillment comes from aligning your passions with your work, finding purpose in what you do.
I like that it's not just about chasing money, but about living a life that feels rich and meaningful.
Precisely. And you can apply this principle of working with your subconscious to any area of life.
Like,
Finding your dream job, improving your health, unlocking your creative potential.
Okay, so it's not just about money, it's about anything we want to achieve.
Exactly. And one technique the book mentions for achieving those goals is using mental imagery.
Mental imagery.
Yeah, like creating a mental movie in your mind.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's incredibly powerful because remember, your subconscious doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality.
Right. So if I can vividly imagine myself achieving a goal.
And really feeling all the emotions as if it were already happening,
Yeah.
your subconscious starts to believe it's real.
So instead of just wishing for something, I should create a detailed picture in my mind of myself already having achieved it.
Exactly. And the more detail you add, the more senses you engage.
The more real it becomes to your subconscious.
And the more likely it is to manifest in your reality.
I love that technique. It makes sense.
And it can be applied to anything you want to create.
But all this talk about the subconscious working all the time, it makes me wonder, are there any downsides?
Downsides.
Yeah, or things we should be mindful of, like if it's constantly running even when we're not consciously directing it, could it work against us?
That's a great question. And the book does address the ethical considerations of using this power.
Ethical considerations.
Yeah, because with any power comes responsibility.
So it's not about using these techniques to manipulate others or chase desires that come from a place of fear or lack.
Precisely. It's about aligning your intentions with your highest good and the well-being of others.
Using this power responsibly.
Exactly. And that involves self-awareness, becoming aware of any limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns that might be holding you back.
And then consciously choosing to shift those patterns.
Be aligned with your desires.
So it's not just about setting goals and visualizing them.
It's also about doing the inner work, cultivating a positive mental environment where those goals can actually flourish.
I like that it's a holistic approach.
And speaking of inner work, the book also explores the subconscious and its role in healing.
Yeah, we touched upon this earlier with the example of Dr. Esdale.
Right, the surgeon in India.
But I'm curious to delve deeper into how we can actually tap into that healing power.
Well, the book goes beyond simple suggestion and introduces some other fascinating techniques.
Like what?
One powerful method is affirmative prayer.
Affirmative prayer.
Yeah, it's a little different from traditional prayer.
How so?
Traditional prayer often focuses on asking for something from a higher power.
Right.
Affirmative prayer, on the other hand, involves declaring the desired outcome as if it's already happening.
So instead of saying, please heal me,
You'd say something like, I am healed and whole.
I see. So it's about aligning your belief with the reality you want to create.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes that it's not just about repeating words, but about embodying the feeling of being healed, cultivating that deep inner conviction.
That your body is already in the process of restoring itself.
Precisely.
And this aligns with the idea that our subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. So if we can convince ourselves that we're already healed, our subconscious will work to make it so.
Exactly. And the book provides numerous examples of people who've used affirmative prayer to overcome some serious illnesses.
Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff.
It highlights the incredible potential of this technique when combined with a strong belief in the power of the subconscious mind.
But what about those times when we're struggling with negative thoughts or fears?
Fears.
Yeah, like how do we work with those challenging emotions?
Well, the book's insights on fear are incredibly valuable, and it starts by reminding us that fear at its core is a thought in our minds.
So we're essentially afraid of our own thoughts.
That's the idea, and once we realize that we have the power to change those thoughts.
And therefore change our experience of fear.
Exactly. But I know sometimes those fears can feel so real, so overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely.
And the book doesn't dismiss that, but it encourages us to examine those fears, to understand where they're coming from.
And then to consciously choose to replace those thoughts with more empowering ones.
Precisely so. Instead of trying to suppress or ignore those fears,
Would you confront them head on?
and then shift our focus to what we want to create.
So even when fear arises, we can acknowledge it without letting it control us, and then consciously choose to shift our mental and emotional state.
Exactly. It's like learning to surf.
Surf.
Yeah, you can't control the waves, but you can learn to ride them with skill and grace.
I love that analogy. It reminds us that we're not meant to be perfect, but rather to embrace the journey of growth and learning, even when it gets a little bumpy.
And that journey of growth extends to all areas of life, including our relationships.
Our relationships.
Yeah, the book dives into how the subconscious mind influences our interactions with others.
Oh, interesting. So, how can we use this understanding of the subconscious to improve our relationships?
Well, remember the concept of the mental blueprint we discussed earlier.
The foundation of our reality.
Exactly. Well, the book suggests applying this same principle to relationships.
So, if I'm looking to attract an ideal partner,
You can start by creating a clear mental picture of the qualities you desire in that person.
so instead of focusing on what I don't want or dwelling on past relationship disappointments,
You visualize the kind of partner you want to be with.
and it's not about creating a superficial checklist, right?
Right. It's about focusing on those deeper qualities.
Like kindness, integrity, shared values.
A genuine connection.
So you're essentially creating a mental blueprint for your ideal relationship.
And then your subconscious mind starts working to attract experiences and people that match that blueprint.
Interesting. And this isn't about trying to control others or force a specific outcome, right?
Right. It's about aligning yourself with the energy of what you desire, which then naturally attracts it into your reality.
So can we use these techniques to improve existing relationships too?
Absolutely. The book suggests these principles can be applied to any relationship,
Whether it's with a romantic partner, family members, friends.
even colleagues.
So if I'm struggling with conflict in a relationship,
You could try visualizing a more harmonious interaction with that person, focusing on their positive qualities.
and the kind of connection I want to create.
Exactly. It's about shifting your mental and emotional focus from the problem to the solution.
From what's wrong to what I want to create.
Precisely.
So instead of dwelling on past arguments or negative feelings, I could try to visualize us having a loving and supportive conversation.
And that could actually help shift the dynamic in real life.
That's fascinating.
And the book really stresses the importance of taking responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings.
Instead of blaming the other person for my unhappiness.
Exactly. It's about focusing on what you can control your own internal state.
And trusting that your subconscious mind will work to align your reality with those positive beliefs and expectations.
Precisely. And the book offers a wealth of techniques for cultivating those positive beliefs,
And creating a more harmonious internal landscape.
which can then radiate outwards into your relationships.
This is amazing stuff. It seems like the power of the subconscious mind extends to every area of life.
It really does. And one area that particularly stood out to me was the book's exploration of the subconscious and age.
Age.
Yeah, it challenges the common belief that our minds have to decline as we get older.
Oh, like that.
The book argues that we are only as old as we think we are.
So if we buy into that societal narrative that aging means deterioration and decline,
We're more likely to experience those negative effects.
but if we maintain a youthful mindset,
Embrace new experiences. Continue to learn and grow.
our minds can stay vibrant and active regardless of our chronological age.
Exactly. And the book even suggests that retirement, rather than being seen as an end, can be an incredible opportunity.
Poor.
Pursuing passions and embracing new ventures, it's about challenging those limiting beliefs about what it means to get older.
And instead, seeing it as a time for continued growth and fulfillment.
Precisely.
I love that perspective. It's so empowering.
It is. It reminds us that age is just a number and that we have the power to choose how we want to experience it.
And the book provides some really inspiring examples of individuals who defied those age-related limitations.
Like Socrates. He learned music at the age of 80.
No way, really. That's amazing.
It shows that our capacity for learning and growth doesn't have to diminish with age.
And Michelangelo is still painting masterpieces at that age?
Exactly. These stories are a testament to the fact that our minds can continue to thrive and create as long as we believe it's possible.
We've been on quite a journey exploring this idea of the subconscious mind.
Yeah, from those hidden beliefs that shape our reality to practical techniques for working with this incredible power within us.
And as we were going through all this material, one thing that really struck me was how this book challenges this idea of willpower as the primary driver of change.
Oh yeah, the whole grit your teeth and power through it approach.
Exactly. It can be exhausting and often ineffective.
It's like swimming upstream against a strong current.
So instead of forcing ourselves to change, we should be working with our subconscious mind, not against it.
Exactly. The book uses the analogy of a gardener tending to their plants. A skilled gardener doesn't force a plant to grow, but rather creates the optimal conditions for it to flourish naturally.
So we should focus on creating a fertile mental environment where positive thoughts, beliefs, habits can take root and grow organically.
Exactly. It's about understanding those underlying beliefs and motivations that drive our behavior and then gently guiding the subconscious mind towards new patterns.
This reminds me of affirmations, by consciously choosing those positive statements that align with our desires.
It's like planting those seeds in our mental garden.
And just like a gardener nurtures their plants with water and sunlight, we need to nurture those affirmations with repetition, emotion, belief.
The more we focus on those empowering thoughts, the stronger they become, eventually crowding out the weeds of negativity and self-doubt.
This whole concept of working with the subconscious, it just feels so much more empowering than simply trying to force ourselves to change.
I agree. It's about tapping into that incredible creative power that already exists within us and allowing it to guide us.
But how do we know if we're doing it right? Are there any signs that we're successfully aligning with our subconscious mind?
That's a great question. One sign is a sense of ease and flow in your life.
Like things just start falling into place more effortlessly?
Exactly. Opportunities might appear as if by magic, or you're able to overcome challenges with greater resilience.
Almost like you're riding the wave instead of fighting against it.
Exactly. It's not that challenges disappear, but you approach them with a different mindset, a deeper sense of trust that you have the inner resources to navigate them.
And the book emphasizes that this journey of aligning with our subconscious, it's not about becoming some perfect, idealized version of ourselves.
Right. It's not about striving for perfection,
It's about embracing our wholeness,
right,
including our shadows, our imperfections.
because those so-called flaws are often the catalysts for our greatest growth.
So it's not about denying or suppressing those parts of ourselves, but rather acknowledging them with compassion and then choosing to focus on the qualities we want to cultivate.
Exactly. It's about becoming the conscious authors of our own stories.
Choosing the thoughts, beliefs, and actions that shape our reality.
And remember, this power of the subconscious mind, it's constantly at play, whether we're aware of it or not,
It's like a powerful river flowing within us.
shaping our experiences, influencing our interactions with the world.
And the book encourages us to become aware of those currents, to examine our beliefs and motivations.
And to consciously choose the direction we want that river to flow.
One of the most powerful tools for guiding that flow is gratitude.
Oh, yeah. The book talks about how gratitude is like a magnet for abundance and positivity.
I've heard that before, but how does gratitude actually work in relation to the subconscious mind?
Well, when you cultivate a genuine feeling of gratitude, your subconscious mind interprets that as a signal that you're already in a state of abundance, joy, fulfillment.
So it's like we're sending out a signal to the universe that says, I'm open to receiving all the good things you have to offer.
Exactly. Gratitude shifts our perspective from a place of lack to a place of appreciation. It's like opening a window to let in more light.
So the more we practice gratitude, the more we cultivate those positive neural pathways, making it easier to attract more good things into our lives.
And as we cultivate gratitude, we also become more aware of those subconscious beliefs and patterns that might be holding us back.
So it's an ongoing process of awareness, intention, and action.
Constantly refining our understanding of ourselves and this incredible power of our minds.
As we wrap up this deep dive, what are your final thoughts for our listeners?
Well, for me, it's this reminder that we have so much more control over our lives than we often realize. We're not just victims of circumstance, but powerful creators.
It's about reclaiming our power, stepping into our roles as conscious creators.
Recognizing that we have the inner resources to shape our experiences and manifest our desires. And the book gives us so many practical tools to do just that.
From visualization and affirmations to gratitude and affirmative prayer, there's something for everyone to explore and experiment with.
And the most important thing is to approach this journey with curiosity, playfulness, a willingness to trust the incredible power of your own mind.
So to our listeners, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep diving deeper into the mysteries of your own mind, because the power to create the life you desire lies within you, waiting to be unlocked.